recording live musicians in a recording studio can often present a lot of problems, especially with tempo. I've seen many great performances entirely scrapped because the tempo sped up or slowed down or fluctuated too much, coming in and out of different parts of the music. Cubase has some solutions to actually solve this age-old problem. Let's take a listen to our project here. If I were to turn on my click track, first thing we'll notice is it's not recorded to the click at all, and that's fine. So many people make musicians feel uncomfortable by making them record to the click when they obviously haven't practiced to the click track before going into the studio. So instead of trying to have the musicians follow the click, we want the click to follow the musicians. So I'm going to select my overheads here on my drum part, go to my project window, and let's go to tempo detection. I'll analyze, and what's going to do is I could select any rhythmic part, a kick, a snare. I'm just going to choose my overheads here. And what it's done now is it's automatically created a click track based on the actual musical performance. And as we do this, it's going to actually create a time signature track and a tempo track and place it directly above and below the selected track. I'm going to move my signature track to the top as well as my tempo track. Now what I want to do is to actually define where the downbeat is, because our signature track figures out what the beats are, and by default we'll place everything into a 1/4 meter. So we'll go ahead and just listen, because we may have some pickup notes, and we're going to define where the downbeat is of bar 1. So it looks right where this kick drum hits. And now what we want to do is select my pencil tool, go to the signature track, and just type in, just click right there. It'll be 4/4 by default, and you can change it to 3/4, 5/4 if needed. So we can see that in a lot of live performances, in the eyes of the computer, almost every single beat here will be a different tempo. Now, if I were to do tempo stretching in a lot of programs, it's only going to be based on one single tempo. So if the tempo is fluctuating, it gets to be pretty inaccurate. So what I want to do is to apply these tempo fluctuations of my tempo track here. And I wanted to apply each of those fluctuations as part of the tempo information with the audio files themselves. So I'm going to select all of the audio files on my project window. I'm going to go to my audio menu to the advanced, and we're going to say set definition from tempo. And we get two choices. We could either have the audio metadata stored within a project or actually embedded within the audio files themselves. So I'll hit OK. And what it's doing now is it's taking the tempo information, tempo track, and embedding it into every single beat of all of the audio files here. So instead of one static tempo value, and when you see this little icon here with the music note appear in the upper right hand corner, at that point we've now embedded that file. So let's turn off our click track, and let's say if I wanted it to be a steady tempo, I can now turn off my tempo track, and we could have a steady tempo, let's say of 120 beats a minute. So as we play, it's going to be a steady, consistent. Let's say I want it to be 160. Or 100. So now every single track will be doing time compression to play back at the new tempo. Now if I wanted to edit the existing tempo information, I could literally just draw in tempo changes with my pencil tool. So slow down here and then speed up. And we can just watch our tempo and you can hear the music slow down. You don't hear any weird artifacts. You want to speed up. Say to an extreme. Again, all the musicians are together. Now there's also some other interesting tempo functionality that you could do editing wise. If I select a range of tempo, I can now just kind of tighten the tempo, or if I want to tilt the tempo, I could just use these tools like we have in our note expression editor to have a lot of control just for if the tempo is a little too fluctuation, or if you wanted to just simply lower the tempo but still keep the tempo scale into different divisions. You could just simply come right there and edit your tempo. Say, oh, I like the natural fluctuations, but I just want a little slower. I want it to be a little looser with tempo. So as you can see, solving that dilemma of projects where there wasn't a tempo recording, we can use the tempo detection to have the grid follow the musicians and then correct the tempo information afterwards very easily using the built-in functionality of Cubase. If you found this video helpful, please feel free to like the video and to subscribe to the YouTube channel.